So please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
O-T and then a he. Aw. Fox and Friends looking like they lost their pony.
Yeah, they lost a puppy.
Wow. Did I have you? I apologize, Jody, for having you print all of Twitter, but it was necessary today.
She's working.
Oh, she's working.
Yes. Okay. She's getting things.
Yeah. So we can play Bill Barr so then I can tell him to shut the up. I mean, really. Oh, my God. What's I know everything he says you're like yes and then you remember that he's part of the big reason how we got here.
Exactly.
He told Caitlin Collins Jack Smith has a lot more evidence against Trump than the indictment indicates. Yeah, no kidding. He knew this guy was a traitor during the Mueller report and the Senate intelligence report. He knew this guy was just as big a traitor then as he is regarding January 6th and the documents and everything else he's opening his big Fred Flintstone yap about.
He also had a cold sore last night.
Did he?
Yes.
Chris and I also were horribly uncomfortable with the very long, awkward silence between him and Caitlin Collins.
We have that.
Oh, do we? Oh,
Just
okay.
got it.
Yeah, dead air. Dead air is our favorite thing.
It is,
in
isn't
radio.
it?
I'm starting to break in a cold sweat just
Thinking about
hearing
it.
about it. Yes.
You spoke to the January 6th Congressional Committee. Have you talked to Jack Smith's investigators?
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
Oh, God.
And then he whispered, "I'm not going to get into it." And then she laughed nervously.
Yes, she
Okay.
did.
Oh, God.
I'm going to say that means yes. Of course he's talking to Jack Smith.
Yes. Oh, my God.
And again, it's like Mike Pence, just because he did the right thing finally, because they knew how incredibly illegal it was.
Isn't it?
Does not, I mean, oh my God, he knows that Russia interfered in the election to help Trump and that Trump colluded massively and obstructed so much that they couldn't prove the legal definition of criminal conspiracy. But oh my God, shut the up now.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
want to play poker against Bill Barr because his
Yeah.
poker face is
awful.
the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. Yes. Oh, my soul sister, JoJo from Jurors says, you want to know what makes my blood boil? Bill Barr, Mike Pence, Chris Christie, and a ton of Trump's team knew exactly what he was doing while he was doing it.
Yeah.
Yet they said nothing to the American people at the time. But it's safe now, so they speak out. Calm the on already.
Yep.
I mean, again, they think we've all had been struck in the head recently and don't remember. Yes, here's what was it? Oh, thank you very
struck in the
much.
head.
Thank you. Stuart Stevens, Republican strategist, said Mike Pence took notes while the coup was planned, but did nothing to alert law enforcement or the public. This is the same Pence who lost his first congressional race when he was caught stealing from his campaign to pay his mortgage. I mean, so now this guy, mother gave him his balls back, right? So now, obviously, he's going to testify, but only after he called Dan Quayle to say, can I get away with this? And he's like, no. Then he's like, oh, okay. I mean, that sound you hear is this stampede of people trying to get on the right side of history and look like they were always patriots when they were traitors. Thank you. I'll do my own rock star cheers. Thank you. Thank you.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Also, okay, so I have no idea. People are saying that perhaps I was right about the, because Jill Wine-Banks asked me. I was like,
Yeah.
But who co-conspirator, I think
She knows you're smart.
number 6 is. And I was like,
Ginny Thomas.
Well, you were
I was
right.
like you doing Guess the Quote.
Yeah.
I don't know, Scrappy-Doo?
Oh, Boris Epstein?
Yes, I did totally Hail Married it on Boris
did.
Epstein, but Jonathan Swan tweeted news. An email from December 2020 from Boris Epstein to Rudy Giuliani matches a description in the indictment of an interaction between co-conspirator number 6 and Giuliani, whose lawyer has confirmed that he is co-conspirator number 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I just threw up my mouth a little bit.
Are you okay?
Of the sex text with Giuliani just released about that those, are mine. Did you read his sex
No,
text?
no.
Oh, blah. What a pig. Okay. That's not important.
Wait a minute. I
I haven't even heard
No,
about
oh
You
my
haven't
that.
read
God.
these?
No.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
did you read them?
Oh, they're on the Twitters. It's
Oh.
hang on, I'll find it.
You're the last one on Twitter, so.
Yes. I'm the last woman standing. Oh, JoJo Jers is there with me. I'm
She's
gonna be
also
there
on
until they
Threads.
turn the lights off.
She's also on Threads.
Yeah, so am I, but I don't know how to do it.
It's exactly like Twitter.
I'll
like,
get to it.
Exactly.
My mother died. I'm using that excuse for
forever.
For a while.
Forever.
Forever. I just I'm too. I can't. Too much change. Help, mommy. Yeah, I don't know. But the other thing is, if it's not the other people we guessed, Jody, right? Like Ginny Thomas, Peter Navarro, they should be charged too.
Right.
But I know, as you said, I mean, obviously Jack Smith said this is ongoing.
And obviously
So-
Mark Meadows flipped, or he
Yeah.
would be.
Oh, he'd be. That's what
Yeah.
Jill said yesterday, or he'd be all over this indictment.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I mean, so that's what I'm thinking. What about like Stone and Bannon? You're like, all of these
Yeah.
were involved again in the. You know what? I don't care what they say. The literal definition of treason is. This guy is a traitor to the United States and always has been, and it runs through every single one of his crimes. I get it, like, oh, it has to be at wartime and blah and this. It's like they say the definition of pornography, right?
Right. You know.
Right.
What
I don't
I
know
know.
the definition.
Yeah.
I know it when I see it. This is, I believe, our friend, who is it? Joe Walsh said the same thing, that he read
Our
the indictment.
friend Joe Walsh.
He is
That
our
is
friend.
so weird.
That is a
Well,
strange
you know.
Yeah.
sentence coming out of anybody's mouth.
Bedfellows. Broken clock.
Yeah.
well,
But that he just, if you read the indictment, he just said, I read it again, and this guy's a traitor. He's just, there's
well,
no other way to
if,
say
if
it.
I were a Democratic voter in any of those 7 states, I would be damn pissed that
Yeah.
he was trying to throw
Yeah.
out my
Yeah.
vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
It-
Well,
it-
and that's
we're protecting the votes of those people in those 7 states.
Then I can't believe this is all they've got is screaming free speech when
Yeah.
everybody has
Right.
explained this way better than I
Right.
can, that you can say whatever you want. It's when you do something
Right, it's action.
like fake slates of electors and
Yeah.
trying to overthrow the government. And what about Ted Cruz? When's that mother going to jail, right? Ari Melber laid out all the senators that
Yeah.
voted against the certification, and Cruz was doing, it was part of the plot to
Right.
delay this so that they could, okay. Yes, Bill Kristol said perhaps the most appalling revelation from the newest indictment of Trump is that he and his henchmen continued pressuring senators to wrongfully overturn Joe Biden's election even after the horror of the U.S. Capitol riot. Yeah, and Brian Karem, our friend, who is our friend?
Yes, he is.
He's
our
always
friend.
been our
Yes.
friend. Yeah.
He's a good one.
Right. He said from the indictment, since some of you, wait, hang on, I got to get the whole quote because I
Uh-oh.
love this.
Okay.
Because I assume, I don't know then, if this is Epstein, right?
Right.
This is what they called the senior campaign advisor, right? Mm-hmm. But he's, like you said yesterday, he's a lawyer, right? That's what threw us off, because we thought it
But
was
is
not
he
a lawyer.
acting as a lawyer in that
Well,
capacity?
I remember him as the commentary guy that all Sinclair stations
Right.
used to have to run.
Right.
And he was always giving far right commentary.
Yeah. From the indictment, since some of you refused to read it, as early as mid-November, the, quote, senior campaign advisor had informed the defendant that his claims of a large number of dead voters in Georgia was untrue. He wrote in an email, when our research and campaign legal team can't back up any of the claims made by our elite strike force legal team, you can see why we're 0 and 32 on our cases. I'll obviously hustle to help on all fronts, but it's tough to own any of this when it's all just conspiracy beamed down from the mothership. Oh my God. So I mean, how much evidence do you need that he was told, I believe, roughly 11 billion times?
That's what
Wouldn't
I've
that be funny if Jack Smith said that in the indictment? There it is, my first drink of the day, Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And Z-Biotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/political voices or scan the QR code on the screen right now. He was told 11 billion. We counted it. 11 billion
then-
times that he lost.
Well, then he listens to the Stephanie Miller Show, and maybe we can book him as a guest.
There you go. There you go. Oh, whoops. I meant to say, Chris, who
Okay.
said he leaves in his wake ruined lives like this. The people who went up to Capitol Hill, these individuals, many of these people who served him in government, they got sucked into things. He just leaves all this carnage in his wake. Who said that?
Dudley Do Right.
No, Bill Barr, who can shut up. Oh my God, can you just load the show? Shut up! Oh, these poor souls.
Shut up!
I'm sorry. If you ever went to work for Donald Trump, you knew he was despicable. He remains despicable. And oh, please, with your tiniest of violin, oh, the poor public servants. What you wanted power, and you knew the deal you were making with the devil. Oh my God. Stuart Stevens, another one, said what Donald Trump understood is the Republican Party was run by weak men and women of little character who would allow him to humiliate them personally and make a mockery of their professed values if he helped them acquire and keep power. It's save your tiny violin.
Oh, goodness.
Sarah
Wow.
tweets, Ari Melber showed that as John Eastman was working the phones trying to stop the certification of the Electoral College vote, Senator Ted Cruz was on the Senate floor asking for the same 10-day delay that Trump and Eastman
Yeah.
wanted. Oh, dear God, please, could you take your organ out for me? Please, dear God, let Ted Cruz go down in this, not a more odious individual.
I have an idea, though.
Oh, yes, Jody.
It's not a good one. You're not going to like it.
Uh-oh.
He can probably argue that that's the debate clause in the
Speech and debate.
Speech and debate. That he was on
Really?
the floor
If
of
it's
the
part of the
Senate.
larger plot to overthrow the United States government?
Speech
I-
and debate clause.
I think Jack Smith has thought of that
I think so too.
and can work
Do you think-
around that.
I hope so.
Does he have a law and order degree like Jody Hamilton does?
Yeah, I've got a better law and order degree.
I think he has a much better actual law degree.
Let's look forward to happy, clappy things. Brian Tyler Cullen tweets, new Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt says Donald Trump will not receive special treatment if he's charged by a grand jury in Florida, and he will have a mugshot taken. Frog March, what we've been hoping for.
He's going to make so much money off of that mugshot.
Well, you know, remember they
He will.
already did a
Yeah,
fake
he will.
one, his campaign?
Yeah,
the
they
first
did.
time. You know, they think this is a big joke, don't
Yeah.
they? Ha, ha, ha. This is all so funny. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for this smirk to be permanently wiped off his face, you know? Because this is getting, trust me, less and less funny to him. I think he knows he's in this case.
I think
This
so.
is, I mean, it's not just me. I mean, real legal people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like the latest. The latest is Baby would like to move the trial
To
to
West-
somewhere he won
West
by 40
Virginia.
points.
Yeah.
Right. To West Virginia. Oh, sure. You can just. As I think it was Hugo Lowell said, if you don't want to be tried in D.C., don't commit crime in
Exactly.
D.C.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I believe I said that yesterday on
I
this
think
very
you did.
program.
I think you
did.
did, but I
Yes.
never give you credit.
I'm used to
I was
that.
being deliberately C-wording to you yesterday because I felt like it's been quite some time since you've called me the
And-
C-word, and I was kind of missing
And
it.
did I lash out? No, because
No. And I was being both patronizing and condescending.
you were.
And
but
you
I have
wouldn't
built
even
an
know
armor.
the difference.
I have built an armor. After, 25 years of working with you?
Yes.
My armor is
Yeah.
thick now.
I did. I patronized you after a perfectly good joke. I didn't know that was so funny. I know you made a good joke. I know you did. See? C-wording. I just feel like he's every few years he needs to get out of his system. So I just poke him with it.
I did it
with the C-word stick.
once. I did it once.
I know, but you know what?
And-
It's this part of the show lore now.
And to my credit, you were being a C-word.
I know, I was. Okay.
And she's so happy about it.
I was, totally.
I don't even remember
Oh.
what it was about.
Midas touch, by the way, since we're focusing on Happy Clappy. Breaking, New York Attorney General Letitia James says in a new court filing that her civil fraud case against Donald Trump, 2 of his children, and the Trump Organization is ready for trial.
That's ruthlessly
Oh,
absurd.
This whole month is going to be ruthlessly absurd. It's so exciting. They're all going to get like backed up on the 405.
Yes.
The indictments.
Yeah.
Meep, meep. Move it. Okay, sorry.
I avoid the 405 like the plague.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, man. The Californians. What?
But
You should have taken Pico at this hour. Okay.
Franklin all the way.
yeah, Franklin.
Do you think anyone on the right has noticed that Judge Chukin is in case you haven't noticed, black?
Oh, they've noticed everything about her. They've already started trashing her.
Oh, yeah, and
Absolutely.
She's given tougher
worst
tougher
sentences,
than even asked for in some cases to the January 6th defendants, and good for her. Because we'd been saying all along, we thought like some of the Justice Department what they were asking was not tough enough.
Right.
So, and by the way, she's a famous defense attorney.
I know. That's
so
and
you
she
would
was
think
a
like,
public defender too. at
right. I
one
mean,
point.
you would think she'd be more biased toward the defense,
Absolutely.
but she sees the seriousness and always has of January 6th. So that I think is really good news. But I think she's going to say, "Get the out of here on the. Can we go to West Virginia?"
She also ruled against Trump on executive privilege.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. So this is, we will see what happens with all these other co-conspirators, named or not, so far. But Lindy Lee said Ginny Thomas was the only Supreme Court spouse trying to overthrow the United States. Clarence Thomas was the only justice who voted to protect Trump documents from January 6 investigators. Both of them are insurrectionists, and both of them are still members of the federal government. Let's just hope there's really a lot more shoes to drop,
Yes.
right?
Republicans say they won't cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. But can honest, hard-working middle-class Americans really believe what these politicians say? Republicans said they wouldn't overturn Roe v. Wade. Here's what Supreme Court Justices Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett said during their Senate confirmation hearings.
Roe v. Wade. It is a precedent of the United States Supreme Court. A good judge will consider it as precedent of the United States Supreme Court.
Roe v. Wade. It's settled as a precedent of the Supreme Court.
Roe is not a super precedent, but that doesn't mean that Roe should be overruled.
Well, we saw how that turned out. They played us for fools. Tell your elected officials to keep their hands off of our Social Security and health care benefits. Fool me once. Let Majority Rule was responsible for this message. LetMajorityRule.org is a project of the Marvin Lucas Super PAC, which is responsible for and paid for this ad and is not affiliated with or authorized by any political campaign or candidate or candidates committee.
Love is a choice you make again and again. And I think that kind of love really shines.
But we begin tonight with a pop quiz.